What's going on, friends, fellow subscribers? Michael McFarland here, the Lake Fork Guide, sitting in my corner. It's Wednesday, I believe it's March 15th. We're going to give you a public rundown. I got some pretty cool information about the lake, so you want to watch this one. Stick around. Here we go. The board, as always. You know, the water temperature parameter is finally on the rise, and it probably will stay that way. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the weather in just a minute, the outlook coming. But we've gone from Monday, 52.2, 54.3. Remember, this is in the morning when I first launch. This is when I come off at the end of the day. This is main lake temperature. This does not mean that there aren't warmer temperatures in other places, backwaters, shallows, etc. This is the core of the lake. The reason I discuss the core of the lake is because that's the overall balance, okay? Mark Pack used to say when the core of the lake is warmer than 54 degrees and holding 54 degrees, you should be able to find and catch some fish out there. When it's below that, you're gonna grind. One day good, one day cold. Remember, warm trends, we catch them. When it's cold, we grind. So you can see we went 52.2, 54.3, 52.7, 54.8. Today, 53.7, 58. Sometimes the wind variable this time of year will churn the lake. So Monday and Tuesday, some pretty reasonably big winds slowed the warm trend down. Today, very calm and cool conditions. This morning, the whole lake was so fogged in that everyone had to hold off an hour or two to launch the boats. What that means, fog is good. If you remember, Kevin Van Dam said we need more fog. Fog means the water is warm. It's warmer than the air. It means that yesterday's warm trend held, okay? It means that water is nice and warm, and fog is good this time of year. Another thing I'll tell you about fog that's really cool, you want to find the warmest water on the lake. Today, the whole lake was fogging. Sometimes it's just backwaters. And so when you're launching your boat, take a look at where that fog's coming from, and that'll help you find the warmest waters very quickly. So fog is good, remember that. Very cool public tip for you. Water clarity. Man, we had some rain. We had a thunderstorm come through. Didn't change a whole lot in lake level, about a half an inch, 3/4 of an inch. So for Monday, we basically were dropping. By Tuesday, we came back up. And as of today, we're stabilizing. I'm not going to call the 1/100th there or whatever that is dropping, but we are dropping back down, so kind of stabilized. Change the clarity a little bit. Between the winds, the rain, the level of clarity now is more like 0 to 1. There's still some really good Lake Fork green color out there. In fact, the other day, I saw Mark's favorite color. When you pan out across the lake and it looks like gunmetal blue, that's a very, very healthy lake. Generally, gunmetal blue is meaning a little clearer water, and the Lake Fork green is a little dirtier water. But I saw a little bit of combination of both, so our clarities are very good. Got a little correction for you. It's March 16th, not the 15th. But here's the board for you to look at while we tell you a little bit about Lake Fork. SRA, Sabine River Authority. I talked to them last Friday. They are doing underwater pours of concrete. There are divers underwater pouring concrete. They did some test pours, and we're waiting for engineers to approve. The engineers have approved, and they're finding that that concrete is better, curing better, and holding better than the above concrete, the out of water concrete. So the outlook right now looks really good. The divers are actually gone to work now. So they've side scanned the dam, and there's a lot of stuff underwater to repair. But what that means is they do not, absolutely do not, have to lower the lake at this time. It doesn't mean that won't change, but right now the word is, as of 1 hour ago, they will not and do not have to lower the lake any longer. Divers are pouring and repairing the underwater necessary repairs, while Sabine themselves is finishing the above water repairs. And within the next week or so, they should be finished. When they finish their work, they will go to the board and the directors and ask for approval. The approval finishes, the lake can begin to rise. So as of now, we should kind of hold right in these parameters. And if we're lucky, big April rains, we should be able to contain those and see the lake come back on the rise. Perfect timing, Perfect timing to make our lake safe again. Perfect timing for the spring spawn. Okay. The weather outlook. Like I said, this morning was huge fog. Really fogged in. The lake is dangerous. Don't go out in the fog in the first place. And I'm going to tell you, when you're running some of these crazy dangerous runs on this lake, the last thing you need to be doing is in the fog. All right. Water temperature, the air temperatures, low of 50, high of 70 today. Low of 43 tomorrow, high of 78. 36 and 61 on Friday. 43 and 70 on Saturday. It's really warm trending. Okay. We're going to see some really good fishing here in the next few days. And by the end of the week and the forward week, you're going to see these fish begin to spawn. So fishing is really getting pretty good. Still a little up and down, but the Texas rigs, the sea rigs, Carolina rigs, fish those on points, 4 to 12 feet, you're going to catch some fish. If you're in the right place, the afternoons, you can actually start to throw some reaction baits, chatter baits, square bills, different, your choice. Maybe even an Alabama rig if you wanted to. Some of the afternoon warm trending places, shell beds, points, things like that, you can also catch those fish. All right. Here's the thing. If you really want to know more detail than what I just gave you about catching those fish, you want to know the exact baits that I'm catching them on, my clients are catching them on. You want to know the exact areas, not waypoints, but areas that'll get you in the right place to catch more fish. Check out my members only channel. It's real easy to subscribe. If you have a laptop or a desktop, it's much more easy than an iPhone or your mobile phone apps. But just go to my page, find a join button, hit the join button, follow the instructions, and you'll now be subscribed to the members only, where we teach you about the rule of three theory. And again, I tell you the exact details of not just the baits I'm using, but exactly how I'm using them. All right. So I do want to share a couple things with you. And then before we close, a lot of you guys have followed me for a long time, and I'm really grateful. I know I have followers from the West Coast as well. Real-time rods. We lost Louis Vaughn back a couple months back. It was a shocker. But they have managed to keep the ownership between Michael Harvick and Kenny Mosier, okay? And some unique things have come of this. For several years, I talked about my signature rod. Well, that was a rod that I designed with Louis, and it really didn't actually have my name on it, but we called it the McFarland signature rod. We now have the actual McFarland signature rod, and so I'm going to share those with you. It's the MB series. That means Megabass series. We have a 10-20, which means 10 pound to 20 pound. It's a 7'3", 10-20. It comes with titanium tips and the micro guide system, not micro guide, microwave guide systems. Okay, you cannot hurt those tips. You can't break them. You're not going to knock the ceramics out. It comes with the slip grip system, non-slip. Really light, very sensitive rod. If you already know of the rod, you already use the rod. Someone at breakfast told me this morning they were really waiting till they actually wanted to see the signature on it. So there it is, McFarland signature rod, right there. This is going to be the 10-20. You can get it in different colors if you like. This one has the red, your red grips, your red ties. Okay, this one here is the 10-20. It's equal to a 4 power. My friends on the West Coast, that's most likely going to be your heavy rod. If you're on the West Coast, you're Carolina rigging, you're jigging and things like that, most of those smaller lakes, those small impoundments, a 4 power is more than enough. If you're fishing Clear Lake or the Delta, you might want to step up to my 5 power. Okay, same thing. This is an MB 7'3", 5 power rod. Okay, and it's at 1225. That means 12 pound to 25 pound test. Super powerful rod, handles a lot more of those bigger situations, bigger, heavier jigs, bigger Carolina rigs, bigger fish, more abuse. For Lake Fork, this is my baby. I can tie to a gallon of oil and just directly lift it off the ground and set it back down with this rod. This is the MB 1530. This is basically equal to a 6-power rod. And I'm telling you, it's a mean, bad mama jamba. I wear those fish out on Lake Fork. All we got to do is a big hook set, draw the rod high, and the rod itself pulls the fish to the surface, up out of the junk and out of the danger of where we're going to lose those fish to the wooden trees. A lot of times I'm fishing brush piles, but next to them are big tall trees and stumps. We must control the fish. I do not horse the fish, but we do not play the fish. The MB 7'3" real-time rods, MB 7'3", 1530 McFarland signature is one of the most popular rods on Lake Fork at this time. So friends on the West Coast, you might try the 1020. Guys around here, I look at the 1020 as my finesse rod, the 1225 is my basic rod, and the 1530 is my big fish rod. Okay, that is going to be plastics only. We do have a line of CB rods, which is your crankbait rods. We do have a line of LS rods, which is your light salt. And we also have a couple other rods for frog rods. We're going to be designing a rod in the name of Louis Vuitton as well. And I will tell you about that in the near future. Okay. So one more thing. I talk a lot of times about the real-time magic reaction. This is a scent. This is a scent additive that we put on the baits. It soaks into the baits. There are no oils, no residues, and I promise you, no stink. It actually smells good, and I give my McFarland signature to this and personally guarantee more fish, more bites, deeper hook sets. Yesterday, I had some inexperienced clients. If we did not have that on the baits, it would not have caught the fish because the fish held it long enough for them to recognize the bite was so light, they had no idea they were bit, that those fish did not spit the bait out. Magic reaction, real-time rods. So everything I just discussed, the McFarland signature real-time rods can be purchased at the store right here, Highway 17, 3912 Highway 17, about 1.5 miles south of Lake Fork Marina Motel, and or online at the Real-Time Rods business Facebook page. Okay? I'm Mike McFarland, trying to give you as much as I can in the public report. I love you. I really appreciate all the subscribers. I want you to know that. So I still, one more time, would love to direct you to my members only channel. Please join that channel. It's $4.99 a month. I'm getting ready to shoot the video right now and actually give up the real goods and exactly how I'm catching my fish and the locations I'm doing. So thank you very much. I'm Michael McFarland, the Lake Fork Guide.